Hey everyone, I wanted to do a video on TSM 411. I'm currently running the beta and just trying to give you some of my impressions of it. Um, Not everything that is in the beta will eventually get out into the release. Well, I mean, what I'm saying is there's probably some problems in the beta that the TSM team is working very hard to get uh, corrected or fixed and stuff. So what you're going to see here is just maybe some of the issues that are currently in the current release of the beta. Um, so first off, when uh, I I knew that the DB region min buyout average was going away, so I tried to remove it from all of my operations. I did notice that there was a couple that still had it in there, and so what happened was um, when I got over here, some of these fields were completely blank. So there was TSM had basically removed any operations or cleared out the field with any operations that had an invalid, or which was in this case the DB region min buyout average value in there. So that caused me a little bit of problems. I was able to go back to my release version, clean those up, and then came back and redid the reinstalled the beta version. However, for your information, I saw a note on the TSM beta in channel in Discord that they were going to fix that so that instead of it blanking out the field, it should just like kind of outline it in red, so you would be able to fix it. One thing that you could do, so let's say you have some variable that's no longer valid, you could actually come here and add that in. So you could add in, let's see, DB region min buyout average, and then maybe you could just set it. So like maybe you wanted to actually, one way to get rid of a variable, that you don't want to use anymore, I found is just set it to like the gold max. Is that right? So you could set it to something like that. So anywhere, so when you're posting or doing something, anywhere where you're using it, then that would maybe pop up to let you know that, hey, you need to, this number's really out of whack. I think I've done it with some of these other ones where I want to get rid of these variables, but until you see a problem, then you don't know it exists or not. So anyway, that would be one way to get around it, assuming that field doesn't get blanked out or anything like that. One thing to do is to go ahead and clear it up so that when they do update, you don't have that issue at all. One thing about the beta, and I don't know if this is going to happen when when they release it, was my crafting queue got cleared out, and that might be the case because they may clear it out because there's there's probably a lot of issues with regards to how the item levels and base items and other things interact. So it's probably easier just to clear those, and it might actually be better just to clear those all out anyway prior to updating. Um, and that way, when you're able to do a restock or something, you could kind of see what's going on. Let's see. I tend to queue up a lot of stuff anyway, just because it's like, hey, I kind of want to craft this, but I don't want to. Currently the the materials on the auction house are just way overpriced or something. Or I plan to farm those myself. So I might queue up something. Um, so what I would do is just maybe take a screenshot of whatever your queue is, and that way if you come back and you're like, oh hey, why isn't that there, you can maybe figure it out. Um, Another problem I ran across is I posted a bunch of auctions, um, and then I ended up doing like a restock, and for whatever reason they didn't my auctions hadn't shown up here yet, and so that might have just been a kind of a weird delay in TSM getting the update in there. But it ended up like filling out a whole bunch of stuff in uh, um, my restock queue, or my crafting queue. To It's like, oh hey, and it's like, well, I just posted some of those, so I shouldn't be restocking them. The other thing to do is maybe restock just very small items. That you just sold something, so kind of go in and click just select a few of your groups that what it should be telling you to restock, just to make sure it's not like telling you to restock some stuff that you actually have already. And that gets me to, I think, the point, the problem I'm seeing right now. I don't know if it's going to get fixed or not, but it's just something to be aware of. Um, so I did a restock earlier, and it told me, hey, I need to create these Demon Steel arm guards. Well, I go over here, and if you hover over this, it says, okay, well, I don't have any on the auction house. So, but the thing is I've got two out there actually. And one thing that, I'm kind of rambling here, but one thing I used to do too, it's like, hey, I want to check to see, there's three auctions out there. Let me go take a look at them. So I would just hold down Shift and then click this, and it would populate that in there. And for whatever reason, it would show up. It would show all of them. But since it's adding an exact on the end, I and since there's maybe this worked before, I'm pretty sure, even with the exact on there. But you have to take that off for you to be able to see the ones that are out there. But that's something that worked before, but it's something you might have to work around to understand that it's maybe not showing you what is actually out there. So one of the things I've done to fix this issue with the and it mainly happens with some of the, like the Legion, like the Demon Steel stuff. I think the Imbued, the things that have kind of a different eye level associated with it. So one thing I've got here is I've actually went to the base group, did a search for Demon Steel, and so what you want to do is, so if you have them already in stock, you can kind of hover over the item, and it should show you that, okay, well, here I've got one in inventory on the auction house. This one I don't. So this one is maybe the base item, as opposed to this one is the item level one. So since this is the one that's showing that I have inventory, I'm going to move that to the group that I have set up. And I don't understand why these two have okay, so I'm going to move that one. Some of these have, I don't understand why it has 3 there listed. So what I'm going to do is just add the ones in that I know I already have crafted, and then move those to my I'm calling it a variant group. I think somebody was used that term on the Discord channel, so I just move those over there. And then, so when I go over here, and let me get rid of at least one of these. Definitely get rid of that one, since it doesn't seem to register that I have those on the auction house. And that's the other problem here, is that this isn't showing me that I have 2 on the auction house. But this is, right now, this is going to help you with the restocking. I guess I'll get rid of these are both the same. Let me remove that one. So let me get rid of that. And then if I go over here and I do a restock, it shouldn't pop in a demon steel there, which is what I want it to do. So I think there's several other ones that you're going to want to handle this way. Let's see, dread leather is one of them. And I don't know if I set anything up for excuse me. I don't know if I set up I don't think I set it up for anything else yet, but that's one thing just to be careful of it telling you, hey, craft this, because you don't have any, but you actually do have one on the auction house. So you might want to set up some stuff like that that handles that correctly. What else? The other thing, sorry about that. One thing that I used to do as well is let's look at the shadow gas stuff, so we can maybe pick. Let's just pick Helm here. One thing I used to do is so I would divide up my legendaries on multiple characters, so I could kind of keep track of, you know, who's doing the 190s, the 210s, the 225s, and 235s. So I kind of keep it all organized that way. So if I knew somebody, if one character sold one, I knew what rank it was that they did. So now, and so what I would also do is I'd kind of come here and say, okay, look at Shadowgast Helm, and it would actually show me that it's like all 4 characters that had those in their bags or on the auction house or something like that. But now, let me sort by. Now you actually have to hover over each individual one. So I've got 9 there, I've got 6 there, and we can look at the 225s there. I've got 6 there, and 235s I've got 2. So you know, it's kind of a minor annoyance for me as far as tracking, but then it's an advantage to TSM, because it's like, oh hey, you don't have any out there. It can actually look at prices, and figure out whether or not you should craft them. I haven't really worked on setting up the crafting operations for the legendaries. Right now I'm doing it mostly by hand. You know, I have a Excel spreadsheet where I kind of keep all the you know, how many I have of each one. So whenever I sell one, I'll decrement the number in inventory, and then every once in a while I'll just come back and adjust it as I need to. I have tried out the restock. So I have like a 168 restock group. Let me see if I can show you that. And this will probably be the last. You know, I need to probably wrap up the video here. But so I have a 168 restock group. So there's a couple of ways you can add items in here. So there's a specific item, which it might be better if I go to the base group to show this. So let's look at Shadow steel. And here you can actually do like an 168. Oh, well, it would probably help if I see I-168. So this will show you all the variations of the 168 gear. So if you want to do it, like the 87 gear, so there will be one here that has like 2 random stats, or it looks like 2. But then you have the ones that have all the variations, and I think I've. Oh, okay. There's just 1, 2, 3, 4. I could have sworn I had these in the group already, but shadow. Let me just double check. Shadow steel. Oh, I guess I don't have them in there. So actually, let's shadow steel 68. So I probably just want to put. I don't know which one to put in here. Some of them have bonus IDs. Let's just try doing that. And this shows that I have some out on the auction house, so that's good. Yeah, I wish this didn't come out expanded. I wish it would just keep it however you had it before. So let's try this operation here. Let me collapse these down so I can focus better. So an operation. So my operation here is just craft 1. Well, and since I have them out there, maybe I need to find one. Probably should have been better prepared on this. Let me see. I think I've got some for everything here, so it's not like I'm running low or anything. So I think so. The idea here is if you want to just craft one, or you keep several of them crafted. Okay, so I've actually got some out here. So what I originally had this set up to do craft 4 of each item. So the great thing about it I liked is that it would actually queue it up. If you come to your crafting list and you look at shadow steel, it's going to craft a 151. But if it's in your list over here, I think it'll even actually pop up. It'll tell you that, okay, hey, you're going to add a crafter's mark to it. And when you actually craft it, it's a little scary at first, but it would actually craft the 168 version. So that's how I've been handling those. I think what I'm going to do is probably scale back on those. So once the patch comes out, then I think people are going to be starting to apply the Crafter's Mark III to those items, which I think makes them item level 200, if I'm not mistaken. But that means these kind of become a little less valuable. People may still get them so they can queue for, get going with heroics and raiding and stuff. But it's just not. It's just probably not as good of a seller, and you're probably the margins are probably not going to be that big of a difference. So I think that's mostly it that I wanted to talk about. If you have any questions, just post them in the comments. I'll try to answer them as best I can. And as I come across other um, issues, I can let you know. There was one other issue I think I wanted to cover. See, now these show up properly, but when I was in the enchanting window, um, a lot of times you'll right click on the enchant and you kind of hover over here, and it doesn't show you the item. It would show you basically what the Blizzard UI looks like, and it doesn't show you that it's like, oh hey, I've got this many on the auction house, and and that's the price and stuff. So it would just show you the default thing, something maybe sort of like that, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, um, yeah, and if I find any other issues that you might need to be aware of before the beta is done, and we get 4.1.1 released, then I'll probably make another video of it. And then finally, I think I'm at a point where I am ready to retire from the auction house. So I'm planning on working on a series of how to, there's one thing you ramp up to where you're doing lots of auctions and you're busy. Maybe you're a little bit too busy with auctions and you want to maybe scale back. So that's one thing, is like, how do you scale back, and then how do you get to a point where you basically maybe like retire from the auction house completely, or somewhere in between those 2 points. So you get to where it's easy to make some changes in TSM to kind of scale you back. I'm going to be trying to do it a little bit more gracefully, but I think the same thing would apply. That one would be just stop crafting stuff, but you're still going through all the motions of you've got 1,000 items that you'd like to get rid of. Maybe you can't store them easily, so you're still going through the process of auctioning every day and stuff like that. So you might as well be crafting some stuff that is going to sell pretty well. So anyway, hope this was helpful, and I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you.